So on the same day that I saw Cold War, I saw another heartwarming film. No, I saw another utterly depressive drama. Um, Thankfully, there was dinner in between these two movies, or my soul would have been completely crushed. This is Nadine Labaki's Capernaum. I don't think I'm saying that right. Um, I'm really not sure how to say that word. I'm just going phonetically. But it is Nadine Labaki's third film as a director. I have seen her other two. I saw Where Do We Go Now at the San Francisco International Film Festival a few years back, and I earlier this year finally caught up with Caramel, which was her first film. And she tells films about societal strife in Lebanon and at various phases. So in Carmel, it's about sort of middle class, upper middle class women sort of dealing with the limitations of the suburban life, or not suburban, but the urban, life that they lead. Where Do We Go Now is about the conflict between, I think it was either Jews and Muslims or Christians and Muslims. I can't remember now, or all three. And the fact that they have separate cemeteries and it's a small town charm kind of movie. Both those films were more comedy than drama, although they had social commentary and dramatic moments. Capernaum is a drama, straight up drama, um, about a boy named Zane. My cat is just being crazy off camera. Sorry. Um, about a boy named Zane who is actually played by a real life Syrian refugee, who at the time was living in Lebanon, but now I read has immigrated to Finland. So yay, Scandinavia. He gives one of the great, all-time great child performances. He is so soulful and so emotive with every inch of his body. It's mesmerizing. And this film does not work if the actor in the lead role, isn't able to pull you in the way that this kid is. Um, Actor's name also Zane. It's about a boy who is raised. He and his family are undocumented um, refugees in Beirut, and they are being taken advantage of um, by their landlord and by the people who employ them so that they can stay, illegally in this country. And the kids, especially the older kids, see what is happening, but they are unable to do anything about it, and he's unable to go to school. The best he can do is do what he can to support his family and help his slightly older sister. However, when she begins to have her period, he knows what's going to happen to her, and he tries so hard to protect her from child bridery, which is like such a horrible thing that happens all over the world, including in some places here in America where age of consent is 14. I think there's some places where with your parents' permission you can still be married at 14. I think believe in this country. So it's not limited to like over there. It's everywhere. He tries to protect her and fails. And in doing so, it breaks him and he's like, fuck it, I'm out of here. And he is gonna run away and he's not sure where to go. And then he runs into a man in a knockoff Spider-Man costume who is Cockroach Man, which is very symbolic because cockroaches can survive anything. So he follows Cockroach Man to this um, sort of dilapidated amusement park where he meets another undocumented immigrant who also has a secret child because if she lets anyone know she has this child is going to be taken from her. She was a house worker who, when she became pregnant, knew that she could not maintain her housework and so um, shifts to the kind of jobs where you can get paid under the table and people just look the other way, except that she's being much like his parents. She's being taken advantage of by the guy who is able to fake her papers for her. So she is, I think, Ethiopian. So you have two different portraits of undocumented immigrants and their attempts to build a life for their families. In one case, she has one child and is able to take in another child and has a lot of compassion for her children. In the other case, you have these parents who are continually told that they are nothing and just continue to have children that are in the same endless loop. At this point, the Zane character is like, done with it. And there's more in the film because it's a 3 hour film or a 2.5 hour film. Um, but eventually, as you see in the trailer, he sues his parents for his own birth and wants them to just simply stop having children. There's more to this film than that, but that's sort of the high plot. Now, I did see some people saying that it was just another film saying that poor people shouldn't have children. I don't honestly think that's what this film is saying at all, especially considering that it shows both two different kinds of people in a similar situation and the way that they deal with that situation. And I think that allows its point of view, um, because it's less about poor people shouldn't have children and more about situations are unfair and you need to figure out as a person how do you do best by you and your children. And unfortunately, this family that keeps having children, they think they're doing best by their children, but what you see is that perhaps not. Although you're only shown, part of what. So you're shown it in a way to make you side with the kid and side with the other immigrant. Is that all the whole story? No. Does it have a point of view on this topic? Yes. Do you have to agree with it to like the film? No. Um, that's my thought. It's again great child performance, unbelievably beautiful score. I loved the score. It's very much not like a lot of what Labaki has done in the past, except that at the core of all of her storytelling, again, is social commentary about contemporary Lebanon and its ramifications within the world atmosphere. I liked it a lot. I think I hate when people call things poverty porn. I just don't like that phrase, and I don't think that that's what's happening here. And unfortunately, a lot of times it's called this because filmmakers, you know, especially in a case like this, or a case like Slumdog Millionaire, or a case like what is the one Salam Bombay, to get a realistic performance from one of these children, they hire children who are of the socioeconomic background that they are telling the story of, and then that looks is painted as taking advantage of the children. And who are you to say that these children, just because they were on the street, doesn't mean they didn't want to be actors at the same time? Like they all usually show up at auditions and things, and I just think that's just as classist as saying that this film is classist. So there's they've always they've always shot like this way with non-professional actors, going all the way back to like Rome Open City. So there's a whole cinematic lineage of this, and I think you can't dismiss modern ones without dismissing all of it. Embrace it or expel all of it. That's my thought. So this is Capernaum, Nadine Labaki. It's still in theaters. I saw it in LA, but it's coming to Atlanta soon. Make up your own mind. It's complicated production, complicated film. Has a lot to say. I love films that have a lot to say. And the very last sequence will fill your heart with joy. So you'll go through a lot of shit to get to joy, and that's life. So this is Capernaum, Nadine Labeki. I enjoyed it.